Hello, you guys. Let's look at Chapter 10, Lesson 1. I can't believe we're in the last chapter of the year. Oh my. Okay, so today the goal is to solve problems involving triangles. And something that's really, really important, and you probably remember, is that all three angles of a triangle always have to add to 180. That's the angle, the sum of the angles, or the angle sum property. So in the diagram, the measure of angle ABC, so watch the stylus, okay, A to B to C. So that angle is 44 degrees. And then B to A to C, that is the same as B to C to A. So we're going to call those both X because we know they're both the same. So they want us to find the angles and then classify the triangle by its angle measures. So I substituted in for angle BAC, I substituted X in. For angle BCA, I substituted X. For the measure of angle ABC, I substituted 44. And we know when we add those together, that has to equal 180. So 1x plus 1x is 2x plus 44. So we subtract 44 from both sides. So we have 2x equals 136. And then we get rid of the 2 by dividing by 2 on both sides. So x equals 68. And since we know the angles are now 68, 68, and 44, since the largest angle is still less than 90, this would be called an acute triangle. Okay, take a look at the checkpoint. We're just supposed to find the value of x and then classify the triangle by its angle measures. That just means name it by its angle measures. Alright, so we see 3x plus 48 has to equal 180. And then add the like terms, so 3x plus 3x gives us 6x plus 48 equals 180. Subtract 48 on both sides, so 6x equals 132. And then we divide both sides by 6, so x equals 22. Now if I plug a 22 in for x, remember 3 times 22 would give me 66, 66, and 48. Well, you always go to the largest angle, so 66 is the largest, and since it's less than 90, this would be called an acute triangle. Okay, take a look at number 2. So I'm using the angle sum property, so 2x plus 3x plus 6 plus 24 has to equal 180, so I wrote it out. And then combine like terms, 3x plus 2x makes 5x, and 6 plus 24 makes 30. And so I subtract 30 on both sides of the equation, and I get 5x equals 150. And then to get rid of the 5, we divide both sides by 5, so x equals 30. And now plug the 30 back in for x. So the 2x becomes 2 times 30, which is 60. The 3x plus 6 becomes 96, and then we bring down the 24. Now this time, look at the largest angle. Do you see how that's 96? Well, since it's larger than 90 degrees, this is an obtuse triangle. Okay, take a look at example 2, finding unknown side lengths. The perimeter of a scalene triangle, scalene means all the sides have different measures, is 45 inches. The length of the first side is twice the length of the second side, and the length of the third side is 15 inches. Find the lengths of the other two sides. So it said the length of the first side is twice as long as the second side. So I made second side x, first side 2x, which is twice as long, and the third side was 15. And then I know the perimeter is 45 inches. So I put the perimeter equals 2x plus 15. And so 45 equals 2x plus 15. And then combine like terms. So 45 equals 3x plus 15. And now let's get rid of the 15 by subtracting 15 on both sides of the equal sign. So we get 30 equals 3x. And now let's get rid of the 3 by dividing both sides by 3. So x equals 10. And now just plug 10 back in for x. So one of the sides is 10. The other side is 20 inches. And of course 10 plus 20 plus 15 gave us 45 inches. Okay, take a look at the checkpoint. Find the unknown side length of the triangle given the perimeter P. Then classify the triangle by its side length. That means name it by its side lengths. So take a look at number 3. We know the perimeter is 75 feet. And we know one side is 15, one side is 25, and the other side is x. So write your equation. 15 plus 25 plus x equals 75. And then combine like terms. 15 plus 25 gave us 40. So 40 plus x equals 75. Let's get rid of the 40 by subtracting both sides by 40. So x equals 35 feet. And so now I have a side that's 15, a side that's 25, and a side that's 35. When all three sides are different measures, that's what we call a scalene triangle. Okay, take a look at number 4. The perimeter is 21.6 meters, and all we know is that they gave these little tick marks. See the little tick marks? That means that all three sides are the same. Well, since we don't know it, let's call them all x. So this side is x, this side is x, and this side is x. So if we're doing the perimeter, it would be x plus x plus x, which is 3x equals 21.6. So let's get rid of the 3 by dividing both sides by 3. So x equals 7.2 meters. Now if all three sides are the same, we call this an equilateral triangle. That means all three sides have the same measure. Okay, let's look at example 3, finding the angle measures using a ratio. So the ratio of the angle measures of a triangle is 3 to 4 to 5. Find the angle measures and then classify the triangle by its angle measures. So if the ratio is 3, 4, 5, then we can just use x to find the missing amount. So that it would be 3x on one side, 4x on the other, and 5x on the third. And so then for perimeter, we're just going to, or I'm sorry, not perimeter, we are doing angles. So 3x plus 4x plus 5x has to equal the total of all three angles, which is always 180 degrees for a triangle. So combine like terms, that would be 12x equals 180. Get rid of the 12 by dividing both sides of the equation by 12, so x equals 15. And now we're going to substitute 15 in for x to see what the measure of each angle is. So 3x would be 3 times 15, and that's 45 degrees. 4x would be 4 times 15, and that's 60 degrees. 5x would be 5 times 15, and that's 75 degrees. So now, if we have to name it, remember, go to the largest angle, which is 75 degrees. And since it's smaller than 90, this is an acute triangle. Okay, take a look at the checkpoint. The ratio of the angle measures of a triangle is 7 to 12 to 17. Find the angle measures and then name or classify the triangle by its angle measures. So we're just going to use this ratio, and we're going to say 7x plus 12x plus 17x has to equal the total, the 180 degrees. And so combine like terms, that would give you 36x equals 180, and then get rid of the 36 by dividing both sides by 36, so x equals 5. And now if I plug 5 back in for x, the first angle would be 7 times 5, which is 35 degrees, and then 12 times 5 is 60 degrees, and then 17 times 5 is 85 degrees. So if I'm going to name this, remember the largest angle is 85 degrees. Well, that's still smaller than 90 degrees, so this has to be an acute triangle. Now, I want you to add these notes right here that we're going to be doing practicing the area of triangles, and remember the area of any triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So please put that right here. All right, and that'll be, oh, here comes Kitty Kitty. That'll be your movie clue, but Kitty Kitty wants you to please write that she loves the area of triangles, 1/2 times base times height.